What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to another KBShimmer collection. This set is magical. We have a pretty decent sized set, and they're all mostly shimmery goodness. I'm seeing some multi-chromes in this collection too that positively knocked my socks off. They are really, really good. I mean, so damn shifty. So multi-chrome lovers, brace yourself. Reflective glitter lovers like myself, brace yourself. This is a really, really good collection. I'm going to quit yammering and let's get started. Starting off with Mull It Over. This is described as a Merlot base with glowing red to copper shimmer. This is very true to its name. It is like a true Merlot type of wine red. It is what I would consider a universally flattering type shade, and it is beautifully opaque at 2 coats. It plumped up perfectly on that second coat. Now it will dry down very flat, so use a good glossy top coat to gloss it up and plump it out. Now at the more extreme angles, especially in like shaded lighting and or indirect light, you will see a lovely orangey copperish type of glow to it, like a shift that you can kind of see right there on my macro shot. Charmed Life is a charcoal black base with peach pink gold magnetic pigment. The multi-chromes in this collection, as I previously mentioned, are just chef's kiss, especially the magnetics too. They have lots of movement with them, lots of color shifts with them. And honestly, I think both of them in this collection look fantastic unmagnetized too, if you wanted to wear it this way, or maybe even create like an accent nail with the magnet. So I chose to do 3 coats to bring it up to lots of polish on my nails. That's just how I prefer to do it, especially with how I magnetize. And if you wanted to magnetize normally, which is layer by layer, you can absolutely do that. Very user-friendly. I had no issues with extra time or anything like that, even though the magnetic particles to this one are of what I consider the larger variety type. They still snapped to very well. This has an easy, almost double line, kind of like a, double rainbow. How does that work situation where at some angles, you'll see this double line of like a gold along with the purple there too. It is so pretty. I will suggest a good glossy top coat. And speaking of amazing multi-chromes, For the Pun of It is described as a vibrant multi-chrome that shifts red, pink, golden yellow, and orangey copper with bold green at the most extreme angles. Flat out, this knocked my socks off, and I was just thoroughly blown away by it. My favorite types of multi-chromes, which this is one of my top type of favorite finishes. I don't talk about it a whole lot because we don't see like straight multi-chromes a whole lot anymore. But my favorites are the ones where if you're in shaded lighting, it's almost like your eyes don't know how to focus on it, if that makes sense, because there's so much color roll. This is it. I don't think I've seen a color roll like this either. This is like ultra shifty. You're going to see all kinds of colors depending on your lighting situation. And I'm going to suggest 2 to 3 coats and a glossy top coat. Its Fall Good is described as a burgundy jelly base with a mix of metallic microflakes shifting from pinky reds to coppery oranges, bold reds, and golden yellows. Its Fall Good is what I would describe as being a plumped type of jelly. It's got quite a bit of a heavy factor to it, like a bounce almost, like a jelly, but it builds up really well. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect for opacity. I kind of went a little extra and I did a 3rd coat, a really thin 3rd coat. So your preference on how you want to stop. Honestly, I probably could have stopped at 2 normal coats, but again, I always try to record my first impressions. I don't like to go back and re-record stuff because I want you all to see what I first did in, again, first impressions, what I thought and what I did. So anyways, 2 normal coats or 3 thin coats. I used a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat as this left me quite thirsty. Dead Ringer is a brown jelly base with shifty shimmer. I so loved this one too. Now, we have what I would consider more of a standard type of finish. I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a curly per se because I'm not seeing, a lean either way or an over plumping or anything like that. It's just like a shimmer finish. I think if you appreciate a softer, almost almost milkier type of finish, you could stop at 2 coats. But if you like that loud, more bolder look, I think 3 coats is perfect. In bright lights or direct lighting situations, you'll see that lovely emerald green on the nail. And at angles, there's an easy blue shift like what you see in my macro shot here. It does dry down on the flat side, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat. Come Sip With Us is a teal leaning slate blue base with color shifting shimmer and micro holographic sparkle. So we have a jelly-like formula here. It starts off on the softer side, but it packs a punch for opacity at 2 or 3 coats. If you have wide load nails like myself, you're going to need that 3rd coat. But if you have less, say, huge, massive nails like myself, you might be able to get away with 2 coats, but I don't know, that 3rd coat was just beautiful and it plumped it up really nice. And this is another really shifty type of shimmer. I think the holographic particles to this are so fine particle. It gives you this beautiful micro sparkle twinkling look. It's not so much depth going throughout it, but it's just this nice fine sprinkle across your nails. Flash Forward is a blackened blue base with bold sapphire shimmer and silver reflective pigment. I have to say, I think KBShimmer and Lurid make my favorite blues. They do these so ridiculously well. Flash Forward has a heavy type of formula to it. It is quite dense. So go in light on your coats, use the texture from your previous coat to adhere this next coat and stop at 2 coats. I think anything more than that is complete overkill. Go in with a glitter smoothing top coat. That's a must on finishes like this. And a glossy top coat to smooth it out, and it is sparkly good. This is such a beautiful, what I consider true sapphire blue. Tricked Out is an ultra shifty multichrome. So if you are like me and you like these ridiculous multichromes, you need this one and you need For the Pun of It. They are so good in person. Now, this one also starts off on the lighter side, but again, 3 coats is going to do perfect for these. Just let it slowly build up. You can, of course, go a touch heavier. I had no issues with dry time, especially on the multichromes, because they just worked really well. So if you wanted to go ham and stop at 2 coats, you absolutely could. 3 lighter coats for me was perfect. This will dry down flat. So again, use a glossy top coat. This is more of like an ultra shifty, super vampy type of color. There's a dominant to my eyes of that indigo purple over to that nice pink. And then there's this gorgeous gold at the more extreme angles. I tried to catch it on my macro shot, but it's just something you have to see in person. Spectral Feeling is a blue base with bold purple to violet to pink shifting hues. So we have another magnetic here, and this has a somewhat heavier formula to it. So if you go by yours truly and my instructions, I always say have a lot of polish on your nails when you're magnetizing. But for this one, I would suggest going in light on each of your coats and slowly building it up to possibly 3 coats. I think if you have more narrow nails than what I do, I think 2 coats is probably going to do you good. So definitely depends on how big your nails are. Now, wearing it unmagnetized is very pretty. It's like a very deep, glowing type of indigo bluish thing going on, but there's so much movement when you magnetize it. This one's also really user-friendly. I had no issues waiting for that pigment to snap to my magnet. And I did finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. P.S. Make sure to magnetize each of those layers. Gummy A Break is a rich purple base with color shifting metallic flakes in pink, fuchsia, orange, gold, and fine silver reflective glitter. So we get 2 glitter bombs for this collection, and I'm not mad at it. I so love KBShimmer's glitter bombs. They're just so in your face. Now, I want to note, Gummy A Break, I waffled on whether or not I was going to stop at this 2nd coat. Completely honest, I should have stopped at the 2nd coat and I did not. So don't be like me, stop at 2 coats. I overworked that 2nd coat a bit just so I can get it more evenly dispersed on my nail there. And it was just perfect there. I don't know. I was just being extra, I guess. So honestly, I think I have a little bit of over buildup on my full hand shot here. So 2 coats, a glitter smoothing top coat. Again, that's a must on reflectives, and a glossy top coat is perfect for this. This is another one that is such a rich, intense type of color, and it is very sparkly. And we have those beautiful contrasting flakes going throughout it. Night Shift is a deep black base with warm purple hues and micro holographic glitter. This one also has that nice fine particle holographic flecks going throughout it. So it's just this very soft type of twinkle scattered throughout it. I'm going to also suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat with this. It starts off on the lighter side. Some of you might be able to get away with 2 coats though. So your preference on that. I personally appreciated a thin 3rd coat to kind of amp it up, if you will. This dried down flat, so you'll want to use a good glossy top coat. Again, no issue with texture or anything like that with those tiny little holographic flecks. I know it says glitter, but I wasn't getting a whole lot of thirstiness or anything like that from them. This will have a wonderful gold type of shift at extreme angles. And then lastly, we've got It Covered. This is a soft gray crelly with a mix of black metallic and multi-chrome flakes. I think this one, Spectral Feeling, and the 2 new multi-chromes, I don't know, but then again, Flash Forward is a blue sparkly goodness. So I think those would have to be my top picks. And this one's up there with them too. I so appreciated how obvious the flakes are. And I'm always picky on flaky polishes. I just like it when they look like this. This and maybe like the iridescent rainbowy looking ones, but I digress. It Covered is a fantastic acrylic. I think you could absolutely get away with 2 coats if you went in just a touch heavier than what I did. And you'll want to go in with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to seal this one up. I personally didn't have any texture per se, but I had a lot of thirstiness from those flakes. And you want to gloss it up to get that maximum color flip from them. And we're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So we have a lot of variety going on for this collection. Mull It Over looks beautiful over black. I think it works. Charmed Life also works ridiculously well. But personally, I don't care for it toppered. I don't think you're doing it justice. And for the pun of it, this multi-chrome can do absolutely no wrong in my eyes, but I would not topper it. You're just dehorning that unicorn. It's fall good, same thing. However, I think you might be able to do something with it if it's very thin applied. And Dead Ringer works really well. I think this would look really cool over neutral colors. Come Sip With Us would be fantastic over mermaid colors, purples, teals, blues, things like that. I think there's some versatility here. Flash Forward, yeah, technically you could do it with black, but I don't know. I liked it by itself. It's just loud and obnoxious in the best way possible. Tricked Out, very much like for the pun of it. Yes, you could, but I wouldn't. Spectral Feeling, same thing as the previous magnetic in this collection. You can. It looks really neat over black. It vamps it out, but I don't think you're doing it justice. Gummy, a break works. I will say that. I think this one will be really cool over just mostly dark colors. Night Shift, I don't think it did much in person. So personally, I would not topper it. And It Covered, no, I don't think it passes the test. It's too milky and too much of a true crelly finish. So the fall collection is going to drop September 15th. I will link you all below to KBShimmer's website if you want to see these and many, many more. And I'll also link you to the Facebook group if you want to get in there, interact with maker Christy. She is super awesome, and see additional swatches, information, all that fun stuff. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.